All right.
Are we starting? Finally.
A year and a half that I've been wanting to do
That's
this.
it?
Yeah.
That's it. Just a year and a half, baby.
Year and a half. Simple roadmap. That's
The
it.
simple roadmap, baby.
That's it. Now, simple roadmap. It's because we are where we are because we kept shit simple, but we worked our asses off and we're only building the foundation still.
Well, damn, bro.
What's to come?
Seriously. So, why don't we talk about our stories first, and then we'll talk about the simple roadmap, because the simple roadmap has such meaning for us. Yeah. So what's your story, bro?
So
break it down.
It's simple, but a lot of moving parts, right? So born in LA, and then for most of my elementary school years between LA and El Salvador, where my parents are from, back and forth. Finally in 96, we stayed here for good. I've been here since 96. Went to middle school and high school in LA. Out of high school, joined the Marine Corps. Did about 8 years. The total contract was 8 years in the Marine Corps. Then got into federal law enforcement with DOD. Did some fun stuff there, exciting stuff. Met some amazing people, both Marines and civilians. We finally got to a point where I needed more, and I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit of me where I've always tried to do something. When I was, I think it was 2009, me and a buddy, we decided, you know what, let's, he also had that entrepreneurial spirit. He's like, let's start some shit, right? Let's start a business or something. Yeah,
we need more. You need more.
So we were into electronic music. We were going out in San Diego. There was a great scene there. We met good people, DJs, and we were like, man, we're good at talking to people. We're good at networking, and we're good at building others up. Let's freaking start a music management company.
Right.
No fucking clue what we're doing though, but who cares? See, that's the thing. Like when you put your mind to something that you want, but you don't know how to get there, who gives a fuck? Just take the first step and just start, right? So what did we do? We reached out to a couple buddies that were DJs that wanted to get into that scene, and we got into that. And then my buddy put on this amazing festival in Rosarito. We wanted to do it in San Diego, but just the permits alone were insane.
Right.
Go to Rosarito.
Dude, everything's cheaper in Mexico, right?
Beer. I think they wanted $2 at the door per person. We're like, yeah, fuck yeah. We had artists flying in long story short, great festival. Got rid of that business. Then we decided, okay, let's get into flipping. So we wanted to get into flipping homes. And while transitioning active duty to civilian life as well.
Right.
There was a lot of moving parts there. And so when we looked into the details of how to start flipping homes, we're like, oh shit, it takes money to get into that business. It takes a lot of money to get into it, right? So we decided, you know what, we're going to get a real estate license instead. Let's get a real estate license.
Seriously.
And then, we're going to use that money because we both had jobs already.
Right.
So instead of paying ourselves, we're going to save that money up and then get into the flipping business, right? So he is an accountant by trade. He's a CPA. He used to do my taxes too.
Nice.
But life happened and he never got his real estate license. And then it took me a year to get my real estate license. Only because even though it was a self-paced class, it still took some time because I was in law enforcement. I was also in graduate school. But whatever, if something finally kicked in, honestly, I think it was the $1 million listing when I was like, holy fuck.
Ryan Serhant?
No.
Which one?
Josh Altman.
Okay, Josh.
LA.
From LA.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I'm looking at look at the fucking commissions these guys are making.
Dude.
They're making what it takes me 5 years gross. And that's before Uncle Sam takes his nut. I was like, nah, all right, I got to get into real estate, right? So I finally got my real estate license. I studied at night. I was working the night shift at that time, and all I did was study. Finally took the test.
And mind you, you got a family. Like you got kids, so you're doing all this while you
married.
got the kids.
Yep. When I got my license, I got into social media as well. I got to get the word out there. This is in 2016. I got licensed July of 2016. Then fast forward to November, 2 days before Thanksgiving of 2016, I closed my first deal. And it was because of somebody that I had served with back in the military, back in the day. And they were like, dude, we need your help. I thought they knew that they were my first client. 2 years ago, I gave them a gift basket. I hand delivered a gift basket to them. And I was like, hey, I'm always going to be thankful for you guys for trusting me. Like, you know, you guys were my first clients. And I'm like, what? He's like, what? I was like, yeah, you were my first client. Didn't you know that? He's like, no, man. I was like, oh shit. Well, yeah, you were my first client. You know what he said? He goes, dude, not once did we ever feel like that. You never showed it to us. Because that's, again, you face an obstacle, just fucking face it forward. And then tackle it on, and then you progress and you get over that obstacle no matter what, right? So it was the same thing, like dealing with a listing agent who ended up being a broker and having done so many freaking deals in the past, and here I am, first one. I was like, I'm not gonna let this guy punk me. And he tried, you know, he would always bring up the whole, hey, I understand this is your first deal, to the point where I was like, hey, look, man, I gotta tell you, you keep bringing that shit up and it's really irritating. At the end of the day, we're doing this to win for our clients, not for ourselves. And it seems like you only care about yourself. So stop telling me that this is my first deal. Stop telling me that I'm a new agent. We're going to do what's in the contract, what everybody agreed to. And if you don't like that shit, then we're going to have some fucking problems. This might be my first deal, but I know how to read contracts. I know how to read law, and I know what the fuck I'm doing. It's that simple.
You have a brain?
You know, it's not hard. Yeah. 2018, I did 11 deals in the first 6 months, but that's when I went to, I left federal and went to a city agency, and I had to start from the bottom, which was perfectly fine. I was fucking beyond happy. I was just grateful to be part of that agency. So in my first 6 months, I had done 12 deals, but because I was on probation, I couldn't do real estate. Perfectly fine. I put it to the side. Then I suffered an injury in September, and that's when I was like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. Now it's all on me.
And this no income, September no 2017?
September of 18 now.
2018. Okay.
Yeah, so 2017, 11 deals.
So not that long ago. I mean, dude, we're talking...
Yeah, and that was part-time.
Yeah.
That was part-time. 2018, still part-time. And I did 11 deals the first 6 months. And then after my injury, you know, I was like, fuck it, go into real estate full-time. And that November, I closed my first deal. So technically it was 12 deals in 2018, but I did that in about 6 months. 2019, at that point, I kind of stopped counting number of deals and I started focusing on volume.
Right.
So 2019, I did 12 million in volume. My first time year or first year full time. 2020, I did 19 million. And 2021, we did 25 million. We closed our last deal December 27th.
There you go.
And at that moment, that's when he kind of took a step back. He's like, oh shit. Yeah, this guy, you know, no matter how long you've been in a business, one of the things I hate hearing is, well, that's how we've always done it. Right. You know, you hear that a lot in the military and government.
Bro, you hear it
just because we've always done it doesn't mean that it's the right way. What's wrong with progress? What's wrong with making things better, keeping it simple, right? The simple roadmap. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. We can always be better. And so that was my first deal. And then my first calendar year, 2017, I did 11 deals that year, I think.
What was the passion? What was the passion that drove?
Helping friends and family. That was it. I mean, you know, my passion for law enforcement was helping others. You know, I've always had this thing about, I forget what it's called. My freaking wizard at the VA told me. But I have this thing where I need to help others. Even sometimes it's before myself. And sometimes that can be a flaw. It can be. But I always have to put myself, I always have to try to help others, right? So for me, it was always that. You know, since day one, I've never counted commissions. Never. Hell, perfect example. I closed a deal in August of this year. Completely forgot I hadn't gotten paid for. The check got lost. The escrow company hit me up 2 weeks ago. Hey, you haven't cashed this check since August. And I was like, holy shit, it's December. I never got paid on that. Because at the end of the day, this was an amazing family that went from the husband working as a landscaper for this company to me freaking telling me, fuck your boss, which I went off on his boss because he was a piece of shit. And I ended up finding out. I hired him to do a job, big job, thousands of dollars, and come to find out a month later, he never paid those guys. And so I got mad, and he happened to be across the street. So get my sandals on, I go across the street. I'm like, hey,
that's an entrepreneur that's not going to stay in business long.
Oh, he's done. Yeah. He's out of business.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So
don't treat people well. See what happens.
I told the landscaper, not the boss, but like the actual landscaper, I was like, hey man, you need to start your own. Like I'll connect you with all my friends and family. You need to go on your own. You're a good person. You got a great work ethic, and you put our needs first. And I love that shit. If I tell you, hey, I want this done or this done, you're like right away, rather than, oh no, or this, or it's going to cost you extra. And now he has his own company. Man, this is in 3 years in the making. He went from that to not being a business owner to now being a business owner. I helped him set up a corporation as well. My CPA now, he's the one that took care of that, and I'm thankful for that guy too. And so now we try to help him buy a house the previous year, but we couldn't because his tax person at the time wasn't doing the right thing, especially as a business owner. Took a year. We helped them. We fixed things, and now they own an amazing home, almost brand new, on 2 or 3 acres. See that, and I didn't even think about, holy shit, I didn't even get paid. 5 months later, I had to be reminded. And so that's what I mean is like, I've always had this thing, like, to me, the success comes in giving them the keys. To me, the success comes in calling the seller and telling them, congratulations. I'm so thankful you let me help you with this. How easy was it? Is there anything I can do better? Things like that. And it's always like, no, we're just thankful. You got us more than what we wanted for the house, or you made this easier than what we thought it was going to be. Like, that's what I like to hear, and so that's what I'm saying is like, this is why now this is my passion. I may not be in law enforcement. I may not do the exciting shit, which I miss, hanging out, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, working with great people. I miss that, but I can still help people, doing this. And not only that, but now where my business is at in life, I can help other organizations. I'm passionate with active valor and Save the Brave, which one day we'll talk more about those. But my wife and I have always said, like, if we ever get to a point in life where we can just help others without even a second thought, that's what we'll do. And we live that to this day. And I love that. And I think that's why putting people first, how do I explain? Just put others before yourself in a positive way, and that positivity is going to come back to you tenfold. I promise you it's going to happen. And that's what I love about real estate, is that sometimes it's not even real estate, because you meet other people that do other types of businesses, and then you're the hub. People call you and they're like, hey, do you know somebody that can do this? Yep. Call this guy. Yep. Call her. Yep. I got you. And it's like, and I get nothing out of it, but it doesn't matter. I help them. Doesn't matter how big or small. And I love that shit.
Well, you know what? And that's funny that you say that, as we've gotten to know each other, it doesn't matter what your job is. Mm-hmm. It's your purpose in life. That's what it is. It's the passion that drives us. And that's what I think makes things simple. It's like everybody's got a different story. Everybody's got battles, because nobody knows you were raising kids, doing all that stuff, changing professional. Did you use it as an excuse for not getting shit done?
Mm-mm. Never.
And that, I think the whole purpose of us talking about the simple roadmap is, dude, we didn't get handed anything. Did you get handed anything in life?
Nope.
Not at all. So, we have such different stories. And, I think back to like 4 years ago, going through the divorce and just shattered, and why we wait until we get shattered for us to wake up. Mm-hmm. And realize what's in front of us.
Yeah. It sucks, but sometimes it does take that for some of us.
Totally.
I've been down in the dumps. I've been in some fucking dark places. But that's what sometimes it took for me to realize, like, this is not you. You can do better. So why the fuck are you moping around? Why are you down in the dumps? Get the fuck up and get yourself out of this. No, don't expect anybody else to give you the hand to get you out of that hole. Just fucking get yourself out of there. That's it.
You're gonna be waiting for a long time. And I think, Efrain, it was that, bro. Like, you go through, and all of us live this. I did the corporate America thing, slaved to corporate America for 15 years. They milk you, suck the life out of you. Yep. You sacrifice family. You sacrifice everything for what? An employer? Mm-hmm. And then finally, when the earth shattered, when there was an earthquake, everything opened up, and no home to live in, no job, divorce, not having the kids. So those are the moments where you really get to understand who the fuck you are. Hey, are you gonna wither away? Are you gonna go and feel sorry for yourself? Yeah. Or are you gonna do something about it? Mm-hmm. There's no help. There's no life. There's no lifeline in life.
Yeah.
The only lifeline you have is the one that you create for yourself.
Yep.
And I think that making life complicated, that doesn't solve anything.
Nope.
And that's all I did. Like a majority of my life as I was raising the kid as a parent, I look back and I made life complicated. Life wasn't complicated. It was what we were creating for ourselves. So when we talk about our stories and just hearing that, dude, I had no idea that you were a serial entrepreneur with the whole music thing. But look at your life, dude. Look at the phases and the journeys you've had. The roadmap. Does that sound like a fucking roadmap? When you were a kid, bro, like 1 to 7, you're like, dude, I'm gonna go into the Marines, then I'm gonna go to federal law enforcement, and then I'm gonna become an entrepreneur, then I'm becoming a real estate agent. How many freaking lives have you lived, bro?
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it comes down to. Like, I've done a podcast before. But I think it really is, we got to take accountability for our lives, dude. We have opportunities in this country that most people don't have. So why do the podcast? Because people need to speak up and say, we're not victims. You want to see victims? I was telling my boys, why don't you go to Africa right now and see those people struggling for food, housing, shelter, water. Dude, that's tough, bro. That's a tough life. What our kids live, the opportunities we have in this country, that's not tough. So I think when we talk about the impact you want to make, it's your passion. It's that driving force. Surround yourself with the right people. And I think that's why I'm so excited about the simple roadmap. Is like, dude, anybody can do it. There's nothing special about you.
No.
There's nothing special about me. Anybody can do it. But most of us would rather what?
Just sit around.
Comfortable.
Wait for something to be given or In 2017, my first calendar year in real estate, I was finishing up graduate school. My kids decided.
What'd you get your degree in?
Organizational leadership.
There you go.
And you know why I went for that degree? Because I had already been in leadership positions. Right. And I was like, you know what? The VA is paying for my education. I still got some money left over. I'll go after a master's degree, right? So I saw leadership and I was like, that's going to be easy. It's fucking leadership. I've already been in leadership positions. Man, I'm telling you, that shit was not easy. I thought because I had been in leadership positions, it opened up my mind it made me truly a more passionate and better leader because it opened up my mind to different types of leadership, and I really got into servant leadership where, if you're leading an organization of 100 individuals, each individual has to be led differently. You can't just say, today we're going to do this and all of you are going to do it this way. That might not motivate person A and person B, but it might motivate person C and so on and so forth. What motivates person A and B? It's the approach, is how you talk to them. And so that's why I got that degree, and I'm thankful that degree opened up my mind to so many ways of I say leading others, but I see it more as mentoring or helping others, because a good leader helps others become better. Like in my team in real estate, I tell the agents, I want you guys to be better than me. One day I want to see you bigger than me. And I've heard other real estate leaders in the teams be like, they see it as competition. As competition. Fuck that. There's enough for all of us to eat. And why wouldn't you be proud? Let's say one guy took off and became one of the top agents in San Diego. Why couldn't you say, I know that guy. I helped that guy get to where he's at. Fuck yeah. Be proud of that. Don't be fucking envious. Don't be jealous. But anyways, going back to 2017, you're saying that this country is the country that gives you all the opportunities you want, right?
Whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah. So when I was finishing my graduate degree, my kids wanted to play sports. So my wife took them, signed them up at the YMCA. There wasn't enough coaches to coach the kids. So I ended up coaching, I think 2 or 3 of the soccer teams. So I don't even remember. While still going to graduate school and while working 13-hour shifts at night at work and doing real estate. So there was many times, we do showings on the weekends. And if I had to work nights on that weekend, I'd call my wife and be like, hey, babe, I'm not coming home. I have to go to class. Then I have to go to work. Then as soon as I'm done with work, I'm going to take a quick nap, and then I'm going to drive freaking, I don't know, sometimes, let's say 60 miles one way to go do 10 showings, then go back to my job, type up offers, then take a quick nap, work out, gym, back to work. But if my kids had a game in between, I also had to figure out how am I going to.
Right.
So there was a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sleeping in my truck, in a parking lot at work, showering at work. But I knew where this could take me one day, take my family one day, give me the opportunity to give back to how I like to give back now, right? And it was worth it. And that's what people don't see. That's what people that, they see me on social media, they're like, man, that guy, man, he's lucky he has connections. Fuck that. It's not the connections I have. It's because people saw how I bust my ass off. And I'm willing to do that, not for me, but for them. So they see the sacrifices. And that's why my business is where it's at. And it continues growing. And I want to show others exactly how they can get to it. Yes. Is it going to be challenging sometimes? It's up to you. But that's all.
Life
that's
is
all. That's all
bro.
mental. Exactly.
Life is challenging.
Exactly. So that's why it's. I love this, the simple roadmap, because it is. At the end of the day, it is simple.
It is.
Difficulty comes in your mind. If you say it's difficult, it is. But if you fucking just keep at it, or if you need to practice for it, no matter what, you can get to it. Michael Jordan was, I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan, but as an example, he was cut from his high school team, and look at him, right? He never gave up. He persisted. He practiced. He got better and better, and look at him. It's the same shit, right? I didn't know shit about real estate when to this day, I haven't even used anything. I learned to take my license. But I did what I had to do, and every single client that I have helped, well, I can honestly, truthfully tell you, they are happy with how they were helped. Challenges sometimes happen, but instead of being like, oh my God, how are we going to get over this?
Running away from it?
I never see it as I need to close this deal because I need the check. I have talked a client out of canceling, or I'm not talking, I have talked them out of the deal. I talked them into canceling the escrow the day we're closing escrow, because the sellers were trying to fuck them. The sellers were trying to do bad things to them. But again, I know contracts, and I figured out how to cancel it while still getting their full deposit back.
Right.
And they were the most appreciative clients ever. And I never closed a deal with them afterwards. So commission-wise, completely lost. Do I give a shit? Absolutely not. Why? Because it was the right thing to do. Was that a challenge? Absolutely. I can tell you right now, most agents would be like, no, you know what? Let's close escrow, and then I'll put you in touch with a contractor or a handyman who can fix this and blah, blah. That's not the point. The point was the client wanted this. The seller didn't do it. And their agent fucked up because I know contracts, and they were not protected by their agent. My clients were. On the day we were closing escrow, I recommended we should walk away from this. And they were beyond appreciative. That's what I love about this business.
And I think what you talk about, and you don't see a lot, sales has become you monetize every relationship. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that when I think life, when I monetize all my relationship, when everything was, a balance sheet, dude, that's not a fun existence at all. Mm-hmm. It's not. And we all grow. And I think it's being vulnerable that, the simple roadmap, the start is you got to be vulnerable. You got to be honest with yourself. Yep. You got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? When it comes to this, I do this well, and I'm full of shit when it comes to this. Because if you can't tell yourself you're full of shit, then you're never going to wake up, in my opinion. Like, that's what it took for me to say, hey, look, what you were talking about as expectations for yourself, like what the expectations were. And it's always achieve one, move on to the next one. Achieve one, move on to the next one. And how my mind works, as soon as I achieve a goal, I got to go for the next one. Otherwise, I can't be comfortable. I wasn't built like that. I wasn't built for comfort. I was built for learning, for growing and making a difference. Give more, do more, be more.
I love that.
And that's I think, there's so many podcasts out there. What's going to set ours fucking aside? Dude, you're a dad. You're just a normal guy. Busted your ass. Look at the success you've achieved. You're a leader in your community. You're a leader for your family. And when you talked about leadership, that's what my goal is to be a leader in everything that we do every day. Yep. Be a leader. Because that's what it takes. To lead on to others, it's not about money, it's about difference.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about this podcast too, is because I want to show others, trust me, if I can fucking do it,
fucking anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it.
It has nothing to do with my past. It has nothing to do with my, a lot of people say, man, how do you always have energy? Because I fucking drink a lot of this shit.
A lot of Bang.
I drink a lot
Bang,
of fucking
Bang, bomb.
We are not sponsored by Bang.
Not
but we are open to the
all.
idea. Mr. Bang.ceo on Instagram. I think that's your handle. But if it's not coffee, it's this. But sometimes, you got to take a step back. And honestly, for me, the real motivation is I want my kids to see that, man, if dad can do it, we can do it.
Yep.
And right now they're teenagers. They don't really think like that. And that's perfectly fine. I just want them to enjoy life. I want to be able to give them things that they have earned. With my wife and I, we don't give our kids just because they ask for it. We don't just give it to them. It's like, nah.
Oh, you're not going to encourage entitlement?
Never.
You're not going to encourage entitlement.
Everything is earned.
I'm going to challenge you on that because I think your kids are watching. I mean, I've met your kids. They watch you. They watch Jasmine. They see what you guys are doing, how hard you work. Like, kids are very observant. I don't think we give kids enough credit. Like, I see my boys, they watch everything that we do, dude. They're in a whole different world with technology. And I think that's, as parents, like, we have no format for our podcast. We're going to talk about life.
Yeah, that's it.
It's all about life.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fun part. Like, episode 0.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The simple roadmap.
But I think that's why this episode's good because, I'm sharing my story and you're going to share yours right now, but people are going to start realizing like, wait a minute, I've gone through some of that or I'm about to go through some of that, or I haven't even dealt with that. I know I can be better than those guys. Good. That's how I want you to fucking think. Be better than us. Fucking grow. But that's what I'm excited about this podcast and starting my real estate team too, is that
Boom.
I want to show others, my first year, 2017. Yeah, through those struggles, I did 11 deals. I want to be able to take others that, some of them need that motivation, but they have it in them. They have the fire in them. We just got to light it for them. People need help. I know I do. I fucking listen to books. I can't read books. I don't have the time, but when I'm driving, I'm listening to books or I'm watching things when I'm at home that motivate me and inspire me to do better. Everybody has to find what motivates them. And that's what servant leadership is about, right? Let's say I have 2 agents and this guy's really driven by, I don't know, freaking the number of transactions. Okay, let's break it down. How are we going to get to you fucking closing 24 deals this year? And this guy's really focused on, look, I just want to make this amount of money and I'm comfortable. Anything more than that, it's awesome. I want to give back or help others, but this is my bottom number. Perfect. How are we going to get there? Right? Everybody's different. That's what I'm excited for this year, is that I'm going to fucking help others get to this point eventually.
Well, and I think you're being modest. Just being in similar industry, you're a heck of a negotiator for your families too. So it really comes down to families. And so, dude, this is like when I hear your story and when I think about my story, it's like we took 2 very, very different journeys. I remember the year that I got divorced. It was 2017, basically started going separate ways. 376 pounds, bro. 376 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So when I was getting divorced.
We're not doing that bad, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 2022, folks. Yeah. But overweight. And you know what inspired me? You know what saved my life? What truly, truly saved my life was LCT. Was the boys.
What's that?
Luke, Connor.
Oh, okay.
So I talk about it on social media all the time. Like, LCT is everything for me. And I think parenthood saved my life. And the reason why I think it's so important is my mind has really, you talked about education. And I've really, really committed to myself, to educating myself, to become the best version of myself and really, really show my kids what hard work looks like and becoming the best version of yourself. So by doing that, now I realize, you know whose responsibility is it to raise our kids? Us. Mm-hmm. Not the schools, not the government, not other people, not the babysitter, not YouTube, not video games, not those. Dude, technology is not a babysitter. So now it's really, really engaging my boys, and that's the simple roadmap. Like, I have made my life so simple. Every single day is going to be the best day of my life.
Yep.
Every single day, I'm going to be consistent with the habits and the mindset that get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And get shit done for the people that I have to get shit done for. My commitments to you, my commitments to my family, my commitments to all my partners. That's what the simple roadmap is. Figure out what makes you happy in life and then focus all your actions and consistency towards getting shit done.
That's it.
Not that complicated.
Nope.
And everybody's roadmap is fucking different.
Yes.
Your roadmap doesn't need to match mine.
Nope.
You don't get to judge my roadmap. And I think that's the beauty of what the opportunity is we get in this country. Bro, how all the men and women that you serve with, how fucking hard did you guys work to protect this country? And what the fuck is going on? Like, folks, we need to step it up. And I think it's people like us stepping up and saying, hey, look, there is no excuses. We have more opportunities than anyone else.
Yep.
We just got to simplify shit.
Yeah.
We got to take care of what we need to take care of.